All right, so you've seen those incredible, absolutely mind-bending images made with AI, and you've probably wondered, how on earth do they do that? Can I do that? Well, the answer is yes, you absolutely can, and you are in exactly the right place. We're going to be diving into the fantastic book, A Damn Fine Stable Diffusion book, and it's going to take us all the way from square one to creating some truly stunning art. So, let's get started.
You know, this quote from Grandmaster Flash is just a perfect way to frame this. Think about it. Just like the early hip-hop pioneers who took records that everyone knew and remixed them into something totally new, Stable Diffusion gives us that same power. We can remix our entire collective imagination, creating something brand new from all the familiar pieces. It's all about experimentation.
So, where do we start? Well, every epic journey has to start with a single step. And for us, that first step means we're going to get our hands dirty with the most basic, fundamental tool there is, the command line. Now, I know, it can look a little intimidating, but trust me, it's the engine that makes everything else work.
And the process itself is actually, well, it's surprisingly simple. All we're really doing is telling the computer to run a specific script. The first few steps are just setup, but that last step, step 4, adding your prompt, that's where the magic happens. That's you telling the AI exactly what you want it to dream up.
And for our first prompt, we're going to borrow a classic line from Agent Dale Cooper in Twin Peaks. A damn fine cup of coffee. It's simple, it's evocative, it's perfect. We're not getting all fancy just yet. We're just asking the AI, plain and simple, what it thinks that looks like.
So, what did we get? Well, here they are. A batch of 6 images that are definitely cups of coffee. They're fine. But are they damn fine? Maybe not quite. But that's okay. This is our baseline. This is the starting point. And from here, we're only going to get better.
Okay, so you might be wondering, how did we get those specific images out of all the possibilities? Well, the secret ingredient here is something called the seed. You can think of it like a unique starting number for the AI's creative process. And this is so important because it makes the randomness repeatable. You can always go back to an image you liked using the same seed and just tweak it a little bit.
And this just shows you the power of the seed perfectly. By specifying the seed as 1234.5, we get a totally different but completely consistent set of images. If you were to run this exact same command with this exact same seed, you would get these exact same 6 coffee cups every single time. It's incredible. It's control that's disguised as randomness. All right, so the command line is awesome for understanding how things work under the hood. But let's be honest, it's not the most intuitive way to make art. So let's level up and look at some tools that give us way more creative control and are just easier to use. Say hello to a total game changer, a community tool called A1111. This thing takes all those text commands we were typing and turns them into buttons, sliders, and input boxes inside your web browser. It just makes the whole process so much faster, so much more intuitive, and honestly, a lot more fun.
Now this is one of my favorite little tricks, and it's a bit counterintuitive. It's called negative prompting. You see, if you tell the AI what you don't want in the main prompt, like saying, not black and white, it often gets confused and actually focuses on that phrase, giving you the exact opposite of what you asked for. The trick is to use a separate negative prompt box to list all the things you want to avoid. It is a huge leap in getting the control you want. And what if there's something in your prompt that's really important? That's where prompt attention comes in. By wrapping a word in parentheses, you're basically telling the AI, hey, pay attention to this part. You can even add more parentheses or a number to really shout it, giving you this incredible fine-tuned control over what matters most in your image.
Okay, so we've seen what these tools can do, but how are they doing it? How does a string of text become a picture? Let's take a quick peek under the hood and demystify some of the magic that's going on here.
The core idea here is called a diffusion model, and the book uses this fantastic analogy. It's like looking at a random cloud and suddenly seeing a shape, like a dragon or a face. The AI starts with nothing but a field of pure random digital noise, a digital cloud, and your prompt is the guide that helps it find a picture inside all that static.
And here's what that process actually looks like. It literally starts as pure television static. Then, step by step, the AI carefully removes a little bit of that noise. And as it does, a shape starts to emerge. It keeps going, refining and clarifying, until finally the finished piece is revealed. It's pretty amazing to watch. And just real quick, let's clear up some terminology. You'll hear AI and machine learning thrown around a lot.
Well, AI is the big, broad field. Machine learning is a specific way of achieving AI. And Stable Diffusion is a machine learning model that has basically studied a massive library of images and their text descriptions to learn the connection between words and what they look like.
Now, this next part is maybe the most important thing to understand. The standard off-the-shelf model we've been using, it's just the beginning. The real magic, the secret to creating truly breathtaking, stylized art, that comes from the community. And the community's secret weapon is something called a custom checkpoint. The best way to think about it is like a specialized version of the main AI model. People take that base model and they train it even more, but on a very specific set of images, like only fantasy art or only hyper-realistic photos. It basically turns the AI into an expert in that one particular style.
Let's see what a difference that makes. Here's a fairly poetic prompt run through the standard out-of-the-box Stable Diffusion 1.5 model. And the result is, well, it's fine. It's a bridge and a tower, but it's kind of flat, a little bland, right? It's missing that spark.
Okay, now hold on. This is the exact same prompt, the exact same seed. The only thing that's changed is that we're using a custom checkpoint called Epic Photogasm. And wow, the difference is just night and day. Look at the lighting, the detail, the whole atmosphere. It's just dramatic and stunning. That is the power of a custom checkpoint.
So we've come a long way, from the command line to user-friendly interfaces to custom models. What's the final frontier? Well, it's about building your own complex, repeatable workflows for the absolute ultimate level of creative control. Now, this is a tool called Comfy UI, and at first glance it looks really complicated, and to be honest, it is. But that complexity unlocks an unbelievable amount of power. Instead of a simple interface, you're connecting all the individual pieces, the model, the sampler, the prompt, like they're building blocks. You're literally building your own image generation machine from scratch. And why would you go through all that trouble? Because it lets you do things that are basically impossible otherwise. For example, you can build a workflow that generates an anime-style image of ramen and then feeds that image into a totally different model to transform it into a photorealistic bowl of ramen. The results you can get are just phenomenal.
And that really brings us full circle. We've gone from a simple text prompt on a black screen to building these intricate, custom workflows. The tools are out there, they're open for anyone to use, and the potential is, well, it's truly limitless. So, I guess the only question left to ask is, what are you going to create?